The theme for this month's Smash Our Stash collaboration was powders, pastes, and glitter. Hey guys, it's Beth. Welcome. This month for the Smash Our Stash collaboration, the theme was powders, pastes, and glitter. So this was, you know, any type of paste. It could in any type of powder, embossing, flocking. Glitter could be glitter glue, loose glitter, stickles, anything. So there will be a hashtag in the title and in the description box that you can click on to see the collaborators and what kind of products they used and what kind of projects that they made with those products. So I focused on a little bit of everything. These were some cards I made at the end of February, and I ended up going back in and adding, I used some black diamond stickles where there were black centers on the flowers, and then I used some Nuvo glitter drops in white blizzard in certain places as well. But I just wanted to add just a little bit of extra. Like some of them don't have many spots at all. Like this one I just added a few of the Nuvo drops. This one I used the Nuvo drops on the centers of the flowers and colored in the hello. And this one I just added some black. And then some black and clear. So not a whole lot added to them, but I always forget to go in at the end and add just the products like these because they have dry time. So I'm usually like I finish filming or I finish the projects when I get the filming wrapped up, and so I don't ever think about coming in and adding those. So this was a good reminder to use those products to finish off some of my cards. I also did a couple of scrapbook layouts, and I scrapbook for myself and my daughter's album, so there are 2 layouts of each of these. But I focused on the powders. On this one, I used the Distress Embossing Glaze in Abandoned Coral, which was new to me. I hadn't used that before, so I decided to play with it. And I used the Trinity Stamps Simply Sentimental Hugs stamp and die to create my title and then an extra embellishment up here. And then I just pulled in some random die cuts and used, obviously I stamped with my Versamark to get my title here, but then I just rubbed Versamark kind of over the cardstock and then added my distressing powder, and it just gave it kind of like a cool aged glaze. And I like that abandoned coral color. It totally matched my paper, so that's why I decided to play with that. So I have a couple of layouts where I used the glaze, and then I had, trying to find the right color, I had originally used I had some pink ink and used clear embossing powder. This is like a watermelon pink ink or something. And then just used some clear embossing powder in that Hugs stamp and die set, and had created this, which ended up being too orangey and bright. So I have these to use on some future cards if I would like. And then on this one, I used texture paste, and this took me a couple tries because I tried to use Dina Wakley, some type of glaze, and it was dry, and I tried to add some water to kind of reconstitute it, and it just didn't work. So I used the Ranger texture paste in opaque matte, and then just an old stencil that I think is from Stampin' Up, which probably wasn't a great stencil to use with this, but I wanted to kind of get like the bursts behind my photo. Since Avery is dressed as Batgirl, I kind of wanted that, if you think of superhero comic strips. Like, you know, they've got just kind of like those Starbursts or the little, I don't know, action bubbles. I had lots of words this morning. So I did the paste, and then I did use some of the Midnight Black embossing powder on my little stamped elements here because I didn't have any embellishments for Batgirl. So I pulled in my Darcy's stamp set. That is Batgirl. And then, like I said, used the Midnight Black embossing powder and did some vinyl for my title. And then since I already had, don't ever think to do this either, so this was kind of a good exercise for me. Because I did the paste, I wanted to raise my photos up, and then because they're overlapped, I wanted to raise one higher than the other one, so I ended up using some thin craft foam that I think I'd found at the Dollar Tree forever ago, and used like 2 pieces on this photo, 1 on there, so 3 pieces per layup. So that's something I don't ever think to do either. So this, like I said, was a really good exercise. I used some different elements that I'm not used to using on a scrapbook page. So I did 2 of those, and they're pretty much the same. These may be in a different spot because I was trying to cover up my paste application. Not the greatest, need some practice with that. And then I decided, since I had all this out, I would go ahead and do some embossed sentiments for a project coming up next week. I pulled out my Lawn Fawn Magic Spring Messages stamp, and then the die set because it, you know, cuts out around the images. And then again, used my Versamark and the Midnight Black embossing powder and just did some Happy Father's Day sentiments. So I have some of these ready to go for an upcoming project as well. So I didn't do a whole lot, but I played with things that I don't normally play with, and so that took some time and some practice. So I was hoping to get some more scrapbook pages done, but again, like I said, it took some time, and I did use things that I don't think to use, and that is the whole point of this collaboration, is to use some of those things that you tend to forget about, or, you know, you've bought because they seemed cool, and then you never pull them out, either because you forget about them or because they're intimidating or whatever. Like paste to me was very intimidating, which is probably why the first one dried up, because I didn't use it often enough. But thank you for checking out my projects today. Again, please check out the hashtag to see all of the participants for this month's collaboration. There are some here on YouTube and over on Instagram. And I thank you guys so very much for your time today, and hope you all have a very crafty day.